Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Sun. She has just released a fantastic new track called John and I Money, and I'm super excited to talk to her all about it. Sun, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing great myself. Nothing to complain about over here. I want to get right into it. You've got this fantastic song out. Truly, as I said before we started recording, I love it. It's like it's actually different. It thinks outside the box, and it sounds different than anything that is out right now, which is so rare. The first thing that I would love to know about is what is this song about? Like, what inspired it?
I'm so glad you enjoyed the song.
Yeah.
The song is about. I was inspired to write the song when I saw different films, different movies, and there was this movie with Meryl Streep. It's Death Becomes Her. Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
I think I've heard of it.
Yes, it's like a 90s movie, and I was binge watching these 90s movies, and I saw this movie, and she is so evil in it. And I don't want to spoil, but it's about a very bad relationship, and everything that can go wrong goes wrong.
Sure.
Lots of violence, and I was also inspired by American Housewives, the reality TV
Yeah,
stuff.
of course, of course.
Because yeah, to me it's very exotic. I come from Europe, and
Yeah, much different
it's
society and
we,
people's
we also have,
behaviors.
yeah, totally, it's so
Yeah.
different. But we also have like these kinds of rich people who have like rich people problems. But I never saw something like that, and so I got fascinated by this rich white woman who is in a cage, and
Sure.
she doesn't want to leave the cage, but she is going to make a bloodbath in it, basically. So
Right. No, I totally understand. Wow, I would have never guessed that that's where this song got its start from, which I'm so happy I asked because, yeah, I love that. Now on the actual like production and process of making this, personally, I think that like it just sounds beautiful. It's crisp and it's clean and you can hear everyone. Like, how did it work in actually putting this song together?
it has been a long process,
I'm
to
sure of
tell
it.
you the truth.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I had this riff for a long time, and I didn't really know what to do with this dun 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 dun, dun riff.
Yeah.
And then when I one night I watched this movie with Meryl Streep, and I just wrote lyrics, and then everything kind of came together. I produced a little demo on Logic, and then when we recorded it, and when I went into the studio, I really wanted to add organ to it, because
Oh,
I was recording in a studio where they had this Hammond organ,
okay.
and different types of like synths and kind of gear like that. And so I just yeah, recorded this organ over everything, and yeah, it kind of made it come together, because I wanted there to be a little bit of something cynical and fun, where you can
Yeah,
feel that it's not like for real angry, it's
totally. The next thing I need to talk about is so this is your genre called brutal pop. And
yeah,
before listening to this song, it's not something I had ever heard of or really ever heard pop mixed with metal, but it
yeah.
works so well. Seriously, and I'm not just saying that because I love metal and I love pop, but I would have never thought to bring them together in such like a beautiful way. So I would love to hear from you like what's the thought process behind that? Like how do you make it work?
Thank you so much. I mean, it has been an obsession of mine since I was a child. And by the
Yeah,
way, I'm sorry if you hear my dog snoring in the background, but
I
I can't
can't.
do anything.
Hey, and I'm
Okay.
sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background because he's out
Okay.
there doing something. Don't even worry about it.
Sorry. Yeah, so I when I was like 12, 13 years old,
Mhm.
I kind of started to get into songwriting, and at the same time I started to get into like brutal death metal and very like Hate Eternal, Morbid Angel, old school stuff.
Sure.
And so I always thought, man, how can I bring these together? But more than that, I always felt like I wanted to be a pop artist. I always, I've
Sure.
been a Michael Jackson fan. I saw Michael Jackson live in Germany when I was like super small.
Wow.
I don't really remember it, to be honest, but so, I wanted to be like a pop musician, pop singer, but pop was always a bit too small for me.
Yeah,
It wasn't the right size. And
totally.
I always felt like, in metal, you can like let all the other emotions out too. Like there's not only joy and sexiness, which pop is basically made of, but there's all the other stuff. And so I wanted to create a genre where I could just be the brutal self I am, like where I could be angry, where I could scream, but still in a pop structure, in a pop song.
Yes, that's a perfect way of explaining it. I know really though, because it like I had never heard anything like this before, and I listened to music as my job all day long, and you would have think that I would have come across something like it, but I really haven't.
I'm so
Um,
glad.
in the future, though, do you think you're going to be looking to experiment with your sound? Maybe not, 100%, but explore new avenues or take bigger risks.
I think like I took lots of risks to get to this sound because it took me years. I worked with producers here in France and it didn't work because they're very electronic music kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It was hard for me. So I think I want to stay where I am, but I will never, because it's pop, I will never like write the same kind of song and multiply it. What I love about pop is that you have different kind of rhythm. You can have a Latin kind of rhythm, you
Yeah,
can have something more Afro kind of rhythm, and I think I want to always keep that like that, so always create pop songs, but have some brutality in there, some double pedal
of
from my
course.
drummer, and some screaming or growling.
Nice. Have you found that your process has changed from like starting a song over the years?
Not really. I think I've always had a very yeah, I've always had the same process. It's like I have ideas, write them down, forget about them, and then one night it just comes out all at once, like lyrics, melody,
Sure.
rhythm, and I just produce it. And then it's very long because then I play it with my musicians and I
Right.
try what works and but it's always like that. It's a very quick birth, and then it's a bit harder to produce it.
That makes sense. Now, from what I've heard, you've been touring quite extensively. You've had a bunch of shows throughout this year, and you also have a bunch of stuff coming up. I would love to hear all about that. Where are you going? What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, I just came back from Japan, and I have to say I
How
had
was that?
such a great time. Oh, it was crazy because
Yeah.
yeah, people are obviously very different culture,
Oh, yeah.
but they love loud music, and
Yep.
people will follow you. I had like 4 gigs in Tokyo, and the same people came to all 4 gigs. We kissed
Amazing.
and stuff, and yeah. And so I'm very inspired by Japanese anime and
Hmm.
all that. I'm a kind of otaku person. I love
Sure.
everything anime and Japanese. So it was crazy. We were also in Laos and like different countries in
Wow.
Asia, and in Europe, obviously, Portugal, Spain, and then
Sure.
Scandinavia. And next year, we're going to Brazil, actually, and I have
Ah,
such a huge community there who's waiting for
that's
me to
amazing. Have you been to Brazil before?
never.
Oh, I spent 2 months there earlier this year.
Oh,
It's just the most beautiful, incredible place. You obviously have to be safe, but it sounds like you're traveling with a lot of people, so you're gonna be fine.
yeah.
Where in Brazil, where will you be?
It's Recife or something like
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Wow, that's like kind of far away from the major cities.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's a festival. So I yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And we are trying to book some shows around it right now.
Sure.
And then I have a huge tour in Germany and Denmark, obviously,
Nice.
because I'm
Yeah,
Franco-German.
of
I have a stronger base there
course.
for now.
Yeah.
And yeah, later in the spring, I think we're going to Sweden, and we're also playing in Wales, Focus Wales Festival. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so much is happening, and my EP, A Brutal Pop 2, is coming out on Friday 13th January. So
Wow,
yeah,
so soon.
so
Um,
soon.
I want to know what does a live show look like from you? Like what can fans expect basically?
So it's a powered trio on
Okay,
stage. Yeah, a drummer and a bass player slash keyboard player, and me on guitar and
nice.
vocals.
Of course.
And yeah, it's a very powerful show, very rock powerful, but still
Sure.
with the pop sound and stuff. We have some backing tracks just to keep it really, really, really full.
Yeah,
And yeah, but it's a show that can go from festival to small club. I tried to
totally.
create where the clothes and like the fan and the hair
Of
and
course.
little things like that create the image without relying on too much light show and stuff like that, because I
Sure.
want to be able to, yeah, to go from small club to bigger stage.
Yeah, I completely understand. Now, is there one song in your set list that you look forward to playing the most? The one that you think really like just ties the whole show together?
Oh, there are two, I think, but I think the first one is a song called "I Killed My Man" from my first EP,
Okay.
because it starts very poppy, very mellow, nice, and then boom, at one point
Right.
everything comes in at once, and the screaming, and yeah, I love it, and I love to play that one when people don't know me yet.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
that
very
makes sense.
hot.
Gotta just grab their attention. That's the best part of it.
Or they're like, uh,
What
and
did
then
I buy a ticket to? But then they end up becoming a fan. That's what it's all about.
kind of like, yeah. And then John and I, actually, it's the last song we play oftentimes. So,
Nice.
and yeah, the people go crazy on that one, on the chorus. They like the mosh pit and stuff
Yeah,
like that happens. So
that's awesome. I have a few more questions for you. So, obviously, we're right towards the end of the year here, and you've sort of planned out what's happening in the next year. But is there anything else that you're really excited for, or even like some big goals that you'd like to hit, hopefully by next year?
yes, actually, I'm very proud to say that I started working with Vicky Hamilton
Okay.
in management. So I have Bassem, who's my manager in
Hmm.
Europe, and Vicky in the States. And I'm very proud because she's rock royalty, and she worked with like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. I mean, come on.
Sure.
So I'm very excited to be coming to the US, actually, but I
Nice.
can't say anything
That's okay.
official.
Well,
But
if you
yeah,
come to LA, you have my info. Send me a
yes,
message. Please do.
yes.
Please
Oh my
do.
God, you know what? I've never been to Los Angeles. I've been to New York. I've been to lots of, but I've never been to Los Angeles.
I will say it right now. I will be your tour guide when you come. I'll show you all
Oh,
around and we'll hit all the fun spots, I promise.
yes, and also all the movie spots, please. I know
Yes,
probably
of course.
everyone wants that, but
That's okay. Listen, I love being a tourist in my own city
oh,
because if there's one thing about LA is it's huge. Like you could spend a month here and not see everything. So you need someone to be here with a car, obviously, who can drive you around because there's no public transportation
okay,
around.
okay, yeah,
We'll
okay,
figure it out
that's
when the time comes.
yeah,
Um, um,
cool.
yeah. So I also want to know, what have you been listening to? Like, what type of music inspires your music, or do you try to actively not listen to pop or metal to like not take take away from it?
Oh no, I'm not like that. I listen
That's
to
okay.
music all the time. Like,
Cool.
yeah. I get it. I have friends who are more like that. They have phases where they don't listen to anything. I just love to listen to music, so I will listen to pop, that like current pop, like stuff that just came
Yeah.
out. Even like because I write and produce for others too.
Yeah.
And so I do some K-pop stuff and stuff like that. So I listen to that also, like Blackpink, their last album. I just
Nice.
listen to and
Sure,
stuff like
sure.
that. I'm really into that. And then when it comes to modern metal, I have to say I'm kind of one of those people who hasn't really taken the metalcore train yet.
That's okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm more like listening to Gateways to Annihilation by Morbid Angel for the 1 millionth time, you know.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, so right now I'm listening to like my classics again. I just revamped my playlist and listened to lots of Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that, more on the hip hoppy side.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm
Cool.
not really, yeah, I'm not really into, or yeah, old school disco stuff, and but it's everything in there really.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. You have a huge, love for music, and that's really all that matters. And it obviously shows in your own music. Uh, Son, I
Yeah.
have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Basically, the question is for the person that is going to discover you from this, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to
First of all, welcome.
them?
Be very welcome though, because I have this online community, especially on Instagram. I
Yeah,
don't know how that happened, but who is very connected and where people get along very well. So please join us there. And yeah, I always hope that how can I say this without sounding a little bit, I always hope that
you can say
so
whatever you want, I promise.
when I discovered the album "Live Through This" by Hole, obviously Courtney
Mhm.
Love, I discovered the song "Violet," and I was in the Black Forest in Germany, and it gave me so much hope because there was nobody like that around me, and I was just a weirdo with weird taste and weird vocal abilities, and I was wondering what I could do with my life, and I saw Courtney Love, and it gave me this light of hope, and she became kind of like my rock and roll mom idol.
I love
And
that.
I always hope that maybe my music can inspire somebody or help somebody through a tough time, or just, John and I, for example, just make you run harder on your treadmill and kill that
Yeah.
ex or in your head.
No, that's what it's all about. Really,
Yeah.
like your music that I found is so versatile. It has so many different applications where you could listen to it in so many different ways. And I think that's just like the mark of a great artist.
Oh, thanks.
And
That's
I
so.
want to I want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This has been a great discussion, and please let me plug your music for you one more time. If you guys didn't catch it the first time around, the song is called "John and I Money." We will have links in our article so that people can listen and share and follow along and just generally stay up to date with whatever you're up to. But I'm excited for everything that is to come. It sounds like 2023 has a ton to offer, so now is the perfect time to pay attention. Um,
Yeah.
Thank you so much again, and I hope to speak soon.
Thank you. I hope to come to the US very soon.
Please do. We'll be here waiting. Awesome. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye.